of I cannot see with these glasses on. This bit is terrible. Hello and welcome to Brews Less Traveled, the podcast exploring the best uncharted beer scenes across the U.S. This is episode 65 of that show. I'm your host, Brian, and once again, I'm joined by this month's co-host, Isaac Bell. How's it going, Isaac?
It's good, Brian. How are you?
Obviously wonderful.
Yeah, I gotta ask, what's the getup?
I am roughly 12 hours away from heading out on vacation. Not that anyone is counting, but I can't do this anymore. These are like polarized sunglasses. I can't see the screen at all here.
But it makes life better. Everything is better with polarized sunglasses. Life is rosy.
How you doing today?
I'm good. Yeah, it's great. Glad that you're following up. And I'm not the only one taking vacations around here. Good to hear.
Yeah, well-needed vacation. As I alluded to last week, we're headed to the mini golf capital of the world, Myrtle Beach,
right.
South Carolina. I am really struggling with computer issues right now. So let's stall. There we go. Got that out of here.
Breaking some windows.
Always breaking windows. But yeah, I've had a good week so far. Getting ready to get out of here. Getting ready to head down south and enjoy the beach. My daughter has been talking about it nonstop all week, so I am just excited to get on the road and get out of here.
I can imagine.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Someone in the chat is already there, awaiting my arrival.
They've got the beach warmed up for you.
Yes. I believe it's actually raining there right now, so we can blame them for that. Throw you under the bus there, Mom. But yeah, I can't do this. We got to get the
nothing like group family chat updates.
Let's get the regular uniform on. There we go. Back to normal. Yeah, Isaac. Did you know that in 2017, Idaho farmers produced 48 million bushels of barley?
Did not.
Yeah, I learned that from another one of the great inclusions for this month's Beer Club box. This awesome map.
I should have known.
Join the Beer Club. We got this awesome Idaho Brewers Trail map from our friends at Visit Idaho. Shout out to Yins at Visit Idaho.
That's awesome. I love a map. I'm a big map guy over here. I'm an even bigger beer guy though, so I think we should probably get to that.
Yeah, that's a great idea, Isaac. We've got two beers tonight from our featured brewery, Payette Brewing Company. We're going to be drinking their Urban Surfer Citrus Wheat and their Aura Guava and Hibiscus Sour Ale. Really excited to have a sour ale, and we're going to be joined by the founder of Payette, Mike Francis. That didn't work out. That audio bit didn't work out at all, Isaac.
Well, I cracked it right by my microphone. For those of you in the audience or those of you listening who cannot see, I audibly cracked open a beer to show you that I'm ready to get into it.
Yeah, I mean, great job reading the stage direction there. Bad job microphone picking it up. I suppose we should.
Bits are failing.
Our bits are failing left and right. My computer is failing. Let's rescue this and let's bring on our guest and get into these beers. Please join us in welcoming the founder of Payette Brewing Company, Mike Francis. We got him.
He's out there somewhere.
Am I supposed to unmute? There we go. I can start my video too. Wait.
Yeah.
You stopped my video.
That was on me. Like we mentioned earlier in our chat, Mike, it's not a Zoom call. It's not a Zoom recording without some audio troubles, video troubles, technical difficulties. There we go. How's it going, Mike?
Good. How are you guys?
Oh, we're doing great. I think Isaac is very eager to get into his beer, and so am I.
I am. Poured it already.
Nice.
So what can you tell us about our first beer here, Mike? Urban Surfer.
Yeah, so Urban Surfer is a citrus wheat beer. The idea behind it is trying to have something really light and refreshing for the summertime. and here in Boise, we're pretty landlocked, but we do have a pretty awesome surf wave. There's a whitewater park just about a mile downstream from the brewery that has a standing surf wave. Believe it or not, there's everyday lines of people surfing. And that was kind of the inspiration behind the name of an urban surfer. So really just want to have it's a year-round beer for us, but something that's just light and easy drinking, and adding that citrus flavors to it to have something different than your traditional Hefeweizen or American wheat.
It is extremely refreshing. I want to
Oh,
follow
yeah.
up on the standing wave. An earlier city that we featured on this podcast was Missoula, and I was blown away about by the rock that they have in the middle of the river there, that they have a standing wave as well. And I was there in winter, and people were surfing it. I was so excited to hear that Boise also has one of these standing waves in a river. And I'm very excited to hear that it is a hot spot every day. And I love that you made a beer as an ode to the people that go down there and surf in the river.
Yeah, it's a really cool spot, and they actually just added a second wave to
Two
the
waves?
whitewater park. So yeah,
Get out of here.
it's a popular spot.
That's great. Yeah, some stats on the beer: 3.7% ABV. It's brewed with Cascade and lemon drop hops to, I think, I would guess, probably to really accentuate that zesty, citrusy punch, and it definitely drinks like an all-day crusher.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
since last week, Brian, I think I've dropped no less than at least 10 times patio pounder.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, this is what Brian and I have learned is a patio pounder.
Yeah.
Or
Perfect.
a lawnmower beer, or any
has to
of
be
that
a-
easy drinking.
Isaac, another week has gone by, and you are still not on the alliteration train. Patio pounder, lawnmower logger.
I've got one more week.
Jokes come in 3. Dang. Well, yeah.
Perfect. I'll get there one day.
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. So Mike, got some questions for you while we sip and enjoy this delicious beer, which by the way is fantastic. I agree with Brian. Back before founding the brewery, you were an engineer at Boeing, and that seems like a pretty great career path. What inspired you to leave that and start a brewery?
Yeah, at the time, I didn't realize how good of a career path it might have been. But I got done with school at University of Washington and got a job at Boeing, and it took about 6 weeks off, and then jumped into the working world. And in hindsight, I just didn't like a job. I enjoyed college so much. That was the worst part about working at Boeing, was it wasn't college. So that, which is probably true. You have very few responsibilities in comparison. So as I was doing engineering, that's when I really got into homebrew and beer and all that stuff, and just kind of decided that I wanted to try something. And credit to some of my coworkers who had been working at Boeing forever, and had told me countless times how much they wish they had done this or that when they were younger. And I'm like, well, I'm
younger.
24, 25. My only responsibility was a dog. So I was like, let's do it. Let's try this. Worst case scenario, I have experience at Boeing and engineering degree, so I'll go back.
Love that.
Fast forward, now I'm not back there yet, so I'm doing okay at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like how you're like, you weren't a responsibility, just a dog.
Oh, I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm
easy.
Or
Yeah.
That's a
I
very
can
good
figure
point.
something out.
Isaac, how many people? I don't think many people would count themselves, and they're like, "Oh, I'm responsible for these things." They're not like, "I got to take care of myself. I got to take care of my family."
I say that all the time. I'm like, I can barely take care of myself, let alone the farm at 13, or like this car, or another human life. All these things. Every day I'm like, I am not responsible. Don't give me any responsibility.
So you left the aviation engineering world at Boeing. You started Payette in 2011. Obviously, the name Payette can be tied to the famous French fur trader Francois Payette, who so many things around the Boise and Idaho area are named for. But that name means something a little bit more too, right? There's a tie into your past there, right?
Yeah, as I came up with the idea for Payette Brewing before I even left Boeing to go to brewing school, I sitting in my apartment and trying to think through of like what I missed most about growing up in Idaho, and everything for me came back to the Payette River. I grew up at kayaking. Now I've moved into rafting because it's a little more, you can drink more beer when you're rafting than kayaking. Really, that's kind of how it all came about. Is like I just missed the Payette River, and in my head it started as Payette River Brewing, and I started looking around and like, well, there's a brewery named after all sorts of rivers. So kind of dropped the river part and was like, there's a lot of things in Idaho: Payette Lake, Payette National Forest, Payette the town, which we often get confused. People think we're in Payette the town, which is about an hour away. And so for me, it was kind of, it was meant rafting, but then I looked at it and said, everyone that lives in Idaho has some connection to Payette, whether it's the town, the river, the lake. So it kind of resonated within Idaho without being overtly Idaho.
Yeah, and you continue that love of whitewater rafting and the rivers, and like I saw in your website, you guys actually like I don't know if it's sponsor a team of like whitewater or river or adventure athletes, or you
Yeah,
do something cool there, right?
We do. We have 2 sponsored athletes that are professional kayakers, and really, as that started, is the year we opened. These guys came to me and they started a competition called the North Fork Championships, and it is a race down the hardest rapid on a 15-mile Class 5 insane river, the North Fork of the Payette, and that's been going on. This is the 10th year now. So that's how we got involved with that, and then have met these 2 brothers that are, one of them actually won this year, which is pretty cool. But if you ever for some reason find yourself in Idaho in Father's Day weekend, there's an insane whitewater competition down the North Fork of the Payette River, or you can just Google it or YouTube it, and it's mind blowing. And we go into it every year it's been there, and I still can't believe they do that.
Yeah, it's nuts. I've been whitewater rafting a couple times, and like the safety talk beforehand, it makes it seem like they make it very clear you could die, and it's a lot of fun. But yeah, you could definitely die out there.
Oh, absolutely.
Nuts.
Yeah. So Payette was the first craft brewery in Idaho to can its beer. Can you talk a little bit about back in 2012 when you took that leap?
Yeah. So, when I started thinking up this idea for Payette Brewing, Oscar Blues had been canning for a bit, and it was this cool idea. And, day one, I was like, I want to can our beer. And it's weird to think now with how normal it is that people are like, what? Why would you do that? And you've probably heard brewers say that, we brew the beer we want to drink.
Yeah.
Well, that's true. But I also say that we put it in cans because we want to drink it where we want to drink it. And you just can't, the time can't take glass so many places. And I wanted to be able to drink my beer on the river. And so I had to be in cans. So that was the goal, was like, hey, we need to brew a beer, put it in cans so we can take it on the river. People probably heard all the reasons why it's better than glass. And, I can speed those off, but that really had nothing to do with it. It was, I want to go rafting with beer, with my beer.
I like that.
It's selfish for sure.
Oh yeah.
For me, it was the right selfish move because now cans are just the standard.
Oh yeah, I love bringing cans with me. Bottles are a little bit harder. So.
Yeah, and breaking a glass bottle on a raft is not really
exactly
a good day.
Whatever, rafting, the grocery store, cans are just easier.
Yeah, they're great, and it's funny to see, like, you started the brewery 2011, install a canning operation in 2012. Like, nobody was canning back then, and they were like the smallest displays at any the canning operations were the smallest displays at any kind of trade show. And now it's so funny, you go the past 2 years at CBC and it's completely flopped, and the biggest displays are all the automatic canners and the palletizers, and it's crazy to see how much it's gone from, oh, why would you put craft beer in cans, to, oh, why are you still putting your beer in bottles, is what a lot of people are saying.
Yeah.
It's true. It's crazy how it's changed.
for the better. I'm a big fan of cans. It may be because one of my first craft beers was Dale's Pale Ale. But I don't know. I'm like you, Mike. I like to take my beer places, so cans makes that. People will really question you if you got a bunch of bottles jingling around in your backpack when you're at the trailhead.
That's right.
You know, so I think it's speaking of hiking, speaking of doing things outdoors while drinking. I think we should get into our second beer here. Very excited. I think this is the first time I've had a sour beer on the show here. So, Mike, what can you tell us about Aura?
Yeah, so Aura, it's our the guava and hibiscus specifically. It's our sour beer. We have do different variations of Aura, but it's a 4% kettle sour. So it's another thing that's changed, where kettle sours I feel like used to be kind of frowned upon, and now it's kind of normal. But we use a pure lacto strain in the kettle to get that tart flavor, and then we put it through the system, boil it all off, so we don't have that contamination in the fermenters, and we add in the hibiscus in the whirlpool, so that gives it that really brilliant pink color. And then during fermentation, add the guava in there to add that fruit component. Another different, because it is tart, but it's another refreshing, easy drinking summer beer. It's been a fun project for us to get into something that's not IPAs. Because
Yeah,
I mean, IPAs are kind of important in the beer world, whether you
keep the
like it or
lights
not.
on.
Yeah.
But I think the big trend that we're seeing is low calorie beers kind of driving things, and I think that's going to be the continued trend. And I could start to see those start to pay the lights more. But I mean, it's always going to be IPAs, even if it just drops to 60% of the market or 50% of the market. But these are the beers that excite me and really get me going, especially the sour beers, because I think a lot of people don't realize the complexity that's happening and the big change in the process with what you said in terms of kettle souring. People may not know, historically, to sour a beer, you had to expose it to the outdoor elements through spontaneous fermentation or through old beer that you knew was sour. And now brewers are able to do this controlled thing where they're adding it in the kettle, they boil it to the point where it gets killed off, and then it allows you to pretty much do whatever you want to it after it's done fermenting. And you can add aseptic purees, which have been cleaned, and um, I'm sure the brewers are very happy to be able to experiment with the different fruit and stuff. Are there fan favorite variations of this beer?
I think the guava hibiscus is the number one, but I think the second that has been most popular has been a prickly pear and yuzu
Nice.
version of it. One that I personally really liked that I don't think it got as good of a reception as we kind of did a apple tart, kind of like an apple pie one that I thought was great. We kind of like sour beers. It's kind of a mixed bag where some people love them, some people don't, and that one was I loved it, and some people thought it was a bad idea.
Can't all be bangers.
That's true. And, there's a beer for everyone, where you can go to a bar and get a beer and you're like, this is the best beer ever, and the person next to you is like, I hate that.
Right.
Yeah.
And whatever they're drinking you might think is horrible too. So it's a great thing about beers. There's such a variety.
Yeah, absolutely. So Payette has always given back to the community of Boise, launching the Payette Forward program in the same year that the brewery was founded. What role do you hope to play in the community, in your community, beyond being a place that just makes great beer?
Well, the way we've always looked at it is, where we live is the community that supports us, and we want to be able to support them back. So with our Payette Forward program, we do a Cakes for a Cause on Monday nights. We're giving half the proceeds from the Monday night taproom sales back to a nonprofit. And again, we just look at it as it's like our civic rent. Everyone comes to us and supports us and drinks our beer. And there's a lot of people out there that have some great causes. And so we try to, support as many people as we can, and also try to align with people that have similar, views on things. Like we do a lot of things with outdoor recreation. Idaho Rivers United that protects the rivers, that really hits home for us. Some of the different protect our winters, because we are all, if we're not rafting, we're skiing in the wintertime. So we don't pigeonhole to that, but that's kind of where we focus on
Sure.
things that we like. And if a staff member is like, hey, I'm really into something, and that nonprofit comes to us, we're like, hey, yeah, we got a guy in the packaging line that's I can't think of an example, but like a Boise Bully breeds, they're a pit bull rescue, and we had a guy's like, hey,
Yeah.
I think these dogs have a bad rap. We should look at them. We're like, all right, yeah, let's do a night for them. So it makes it fun to be able to interact with people we wouldn't otherwise know, because if you get stuck in your beer world, you don't really always know what's going on.
Right.
What other causes are out there?
Yeah, I came from my background is actually nonprofits before I discovered the wonderful world of beer, and the breweries have always just been so good to us, just exclusively the community. So I appreciate that program and kind of paying it forward. And I like that term, civic rent.
I got it from my grandpa years ago. He said, you got to pay your civic rent. And
Yeah.
I didn't understand it until I got a little older.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, it's like you said, it's a great way to see breweries connect with people that maybe not they wouldn't have before. It's funny, with our sister company, City Brew Tours, we do brewery tours, and what's always surprising on those is you would get locals that are like, oh, I never knew this brewery was here. I never knew
Right.
this brewery was here. And for me, it's just like, oh, I'm in the beer world. It's 11th hour. It's been there. It's Penn Brewery. It's always been there. But when
Right.
breweries actually take that action to, hey, let's reach a hand out to the community, and how can we help you? How can we bring you into this world? And not only show you that we're a great place for the community, but like, let's find a way to support you and support the cause that you're doing. So
Yeah, it's
always.
great to have people come in, and especially, we've been around for 11 years, and it's crazy when someone comes in, they're like, I didn't know you guys were here. And I'm like, what? We've been here for a long time. But there's probably things in town that I don't know exist, and I've been here for most of my life.
Yeah, that happens. We get in our own world here in Pittsburgh. We always like to joke that Yinzers won't cross more than one river or one bridge, so we don't know too much outside of our world. And I think that's very easy to happen in something like beer and hospitality, where it seems to be so connected into this little clique that we have almost.
Yeah.
So browsing the website, I love the website. I love the branding. Saw that you won awards for the new branding. Really, really cool stuff. Really, I think captures the brand. And there was a couple phrases on the website that stuck out to me. Fueling stories since 2011, fueling Idaho adventures. Those phrases obviously allude to the brand being more than just beer. So why do you think beer is such a catalyst for adventure and making memories?
Yeah, I think it can be a starting point, or given a like beer, so there's some people would disagree, but it's a part of so many things in a lot of people's life. It's just a sporting event, and you're having a beer and hanging out with friends and all those different things, where it just adds to the environment that you're doing. So we look at it as, we're not the reason you're going to go rafting or go skiing, but we want to be there with you. It's that extra. Skiing, there's nothing beats getting done with the day and cracking a beer on your tailgate, because you're tired and you're like, this beer tastes so much better because I just had a lot of fun. So we look at it as not like we're not the destination, but we're part of the journey, and it's a little more fun if you have a beer.
It's always more
responsibly
fun.
Though, responsibly.
Yeah.
My lawyers.
Yeah, just make. Yeah. I'm not going to make that comment I was going to make.
Yeah. So you've already alluded to this a few times already. We know that outside of work, you like to whitewater raft and kayak and ski. And that seems to be a common trend among everyone that we've talked to in Idaho. So I'm going to actually throw a little curveball in here. So outside of those three things that you would probably be doing, what's the fourth favorite thing that you're going to be doing outside of those that's not related to the beer scene? So you really have to think about this one.
Oh, I don't know, because I had one more that was going to be easy and to be mountain
Oh, okay.
biking. But that probably that's kind of that's kind of a cop out. It's like, I mean, it's the same but different as those.
Right. Yeah. You're going down a hill.
Outside of that, man, that is. I mean, I wanted to have an 11-month-old daughter, so that's like probably, the other cop out answer is
That's a job.
hanging out with her. But man, I don't know. That's pretty much all I do is work and have fun outside.
I love it.
So
I love
from
it.
Although football season's coming, so I do love me some football.
blue
All right.
football on a blue field. Can't
I
can't
mean,
beat it.
I support Boise State because that is the hometown team, but that is not my team.
Oh,
So, when they're good, it's good for business, and I will cheer them on. But it's not, if they're playing Washington Huskies, then there's no question. So
did people give you crap for not making the outdoor beer garden grass blue?
people suggested that, and I have my wife and a lot of my staff are from Boise State alum, and as I told them, I said, University of Idaho alum drink beer, and actually they probably drink more beer than Boise State fans. So I can't choose sides. I'm apolitical, or just gotta
Right down the middle.
well place
Yeah,
for
middle.
everyone. I don't need to. I don't even have a UW flag in the brewery, so we welcome all the fans.
Yeah. Yeah, our grass is green because it's the same grass that everybody except for one of you have, but you can come here too. I was
The
gonna
blue
ask
field's
this-
weird, but it's actually pretty cool. I
It's-
can't believe I admitted that, but when you go see it, you're like, this is so weird, but I kind of like it.
it's different. I mean, there's so much uniformity to the fields themselves. Like, it's something different. And
And
they're the
maybe
only
for-
ones that have it.
It looks a lot worse on TV than it does in person. It is annoying on TV, but if you go to a game and you're actually like, it's not really as bad as the TV. Like you've seen
Catches
it.
your eye in the bar. You're like, what's going on over there?
It's bright and shiny and blue, and
Yeah. I wanted to ask you, as one, I have a 2-year-old, as one biking father to another, have you gotten the tow rig for the back yet?
oh yeah,
Yeah,
It's
you like
awesome.
it? Yeah.
yeah.
I
Only in the
I-
flat. That doesn't go mountain biking. That's like
yeah.
down the flat street.
Not
Although
even on
they-
single track. You want to take her on single track?
Not yet.
No.
She's got to be able to stand up first, or I don't know.
There's a market for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no children over here, Brian, but you could have asked me the same question because I've tried to get those for my dogs before.
What's holding you back?
But they don't like them.
Your
Okay.
dogs. I mean, when I was looking for trailers, the reviews online, probably
people like me.
75% of them said, "Yeah, this worked great for my dog." I'm like, "What about reviews about children?" Because
Right,
that's what I'm
yeah,
trying
yeah.
to buy this for.
But that's what it was designed for. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's I don't know. People take their dogs everywhere. People do everything with their dogs nowadays. So I don't know why that even surprised me for a second.
Dogs and beer. Bring them with you.
Yep. That you could even have them guard the beers in the trailer.
That's right.
I mean, if you
Yeah.
came to our beer garden right now, there's probably 20 dogs there. I know it's a
Perfect.
contentious thing in the beer industry, but we're a very dog friendly and child friendly place. And really, we don't get into the arguments like other places in the US do. We just have a fun, dog friendly, kid friendly environment.
There
Yeah.
you go.
But sometimes
Yes.
there's like as many dogs as people. It's insane. But
I mean, there's people that misbehave and maybe
Sure.
don't belong in a tap room on a particular day, and there's going to be dogs or kids that misbehave and maybe don't belong in the beer garden or the tap room on a particular
That's
day.
fair.
It's just like that's part of being a part of a community. It's part of like being
Absolutely.
a participant in
And-
society. Like,
It's part of being middle of the road, Mike.
But if you don't
Alliteration,
like kids and
probably
dogs, you're probably not gonna have fun at our place. So
what are you doing? Sitting at the bar, just looking around at everybody. I want to judge. I don't like that person. Don't like that kid. I don't like that dog. Like, have a good time. It's beer. it's a catalyst for fun and adventure. Like, what are you curmudgeoning?
Exactly.
So we've talked about many awesome things about Boise, the rivers, mountain biking, skiing, the beer. But is there one thing, the blue field? Can't forget the blue field. Is there one thing that you wish Boise was more well known for, though?
Ah, more well known for it. I don't know. It's the potato stigma is seems to be starting to like go by the wayside.
Could be the hop and barley stigma.
I mean that's what it should be.
Yeah. You still grow.
Obviously, in my world, I love to be for beer more, but we do have a good beer scene going. That's an easy answer for this podcast. So I got to think of something else. I mean,
Yeah, we
Boise's
put you on
probably
the
like
spot.
the number one city. It's like the number one city for loving being on top 10 lists. Because I don't know, although now it's starting to get, the top unaffordable cities. But for a while it was every time it's like best places to live, best places, all this, and you're like, okay, Boise just loves it. Some top 10 lists.
Yeah, we're hearing that people are moving in very rapidly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been going on for a while.
Yeah,
As long as they drink beer, it's fine.
I read an article recently that Boise, one of the top 10 fastest growing cities in America.
yeah.
Exactly. Now, add another one to the favorite top 10 list.
I was reading
That's-
that article about like number of top 10 things Brian would say on Brews Less Traveled, and that was one of them.
Ah, nice. You guys have top 10 lists for stuff, or not yet?
Nope. That's just another one of our amazing bits tonight. We're on fire, Isaac.
Can't
Oh my
stop,
God.
won't stop.
Yeah. So where can people find Payette beer?
Oh, out west. We're in mostly Idaho. We're in Washington, a little bit of Oregon. Most because Oregon's 45 minutes away. So Eastern Oregon is kind of Western Idaho. Utah, Colorado, Wyoming, and Northern Nevada. Kind of the
So pretty
easy
wide
rundown.
distribution list.
Majority of it though
Oh,
is
wow.
is Idaho.
Did you first expand into Washington because of your allegiances there, or was that kind of just a natural progression?
We weren't there right away. It's kind of a natural progression after we went Northern Idaho. I don't know where everyone is located here. I know where you guys are, but out here, Idaho's a really long state.
Yeah.
We got Canada's. We touched Canada and Nevada. And, believe it or not, when I went to school in Seattle, people didn't realize that Idaho was next to Oregon as well. But
Yeah.
all of it. But North Idaho is right next to Spokane, Washington. So I kind of went North Idaho over to Spokane and then jump across the state.
Idaho is a sneakily shaped state, and I don't think people realize how gigantic it is.
Yeah, it's Boise to Coeur d'Alene. People probably know Coeur d'Alene's gorgeous up there. It's like a 8-hour drive. No big deal. And we don't have traffic, so that's like 8 hours of driving, not sitting in traffic.
Question in the
Yeah.
chat: do you self-distribute in Idaho? Is self-distribution legal in Idaho?
It is legal, but we do not self-distribute. We did for a while, and then got to the point where being a very large state from a land standpoint, but not from a population, means that half the state lives within 20 miles of the brewery, probably. We're almost to 2 million people, so we're getting there. So for us to actually get reaching outside of there is just distributors made sense.
Yeah. It's either that or you have to start your own distribution business, and then you're running two businesses. And
Yeah, that's where when we got to the point, it was either we got to hire more people and buy more trucks, or let someone else do it.
I'm embarrassed to admit this. but I'm going to anyways. I just looked at a map of the United States, and when you were like, "Yeah, Idaho touches Canada," my first initial reaction wanted to be like, "Liar." But it's true. You do. You have a portion that touches, and it is a sneakily shaped state. You are right, Brian.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sneaks up
all
there,
Look at a map.
touches Utah, touches Nevada. It's a big state.
Told you I was a big map guy. Apparently not that big.
Yeah, you should have known that. That
I know.
ruined our other joke. You ruined
Doesn't track. That wasn't a joke. It's true.
God. Oh God. Mike, what else would you like the people at home to know about Payette?
Well, I see a question about flagship brews.
Ooh.
So I'll answer that, and it's a two-part answer. When we opened, although it went through a name change, our kind of the beer we were originally known for is Rustler IPA. So from a people know about it, that's probably the flagship. From our actual like volume standpoint, it's not. Our actually our best-selling beer, we have a beer called Sofkin Sunny, and that's become our most popular, I'd say, flagship beer now. And then our North Fork Lager, named after the North Fork of the Payette River, that's our other one. So Sofkin Sunny, North Fork Lager, I'd say, are the two that we're probably most known for in Idaho right now.
I love that. That's that a pun named beer is at the top of the sell sheet.
Oh, we got multiple. I mean, we got Sofkin Dreamy, we got Sofkin Fresh. That's coming out here. Fresh Hop. It's the name possibilities are endless, and
we have fun.
And still, I have people that don't get. They're like, I thought it was just like someone that sits on a sofa. I'm like, say it fast.
Yeah.
Have your kids say it, and then or not. Actually, I probably shouldn't advocate for that.
Yeah. That feels like a child of the early 90s. Like,
yeah,
that's
fine. Yeah. Well, thanks, Mike, for joining us. And thanks for supplying awesome beers for the show.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Cheers. You can find more from Payette at payettebrewing.com. That's Payette with one Y and two T's.
Correct.
You could figure out the rest to spell. As always, you can find more from us.
Oh, you can't even see. I'm trying to show. There it is. I'm drinking Sofkin Dreamy. You can't even see that, but IPA. I drink a lot of IPAs, so I know it's like cool in the beer world to say, brewers are like, I just drink pilsners, and
I just drink.
I think some of them are liars just saying that because we all IPAs are good. Don't get me wrong, a good lager is good, but there's a lot of people out there I think that they think it's cool to say they like lagers. It's like I don't know.
I love
lagers
that hot take.
Lagers are great, but I think it's a little like you're not a cool brewer unless you say you like lagers. And so I'm just gonna say I like IPAs.
Nothing wrong with a good classic IPAs. Probably the two most drank beers I drink outside of this podcast are lagers and IPAs. IPAs more.
I'd agree with that too.
Yeah.
Barley wines or pilsners.
Yeah. Why not? Barley wines, imperial stouts.
We've got the best of both worlds.
Oh,
the extremes on both ends.
Have a nice balance in your life.
That's right.
Hey,
as always,
if
it's barley wine, 15% beer.
Hey, just on a Tuesday for lunch, fine.
Weekdays,
whatever.
Yeah, with your lunch.
Kids soccer games.
Yeah. You can find more from us at brewfauna.com. There, you can read our blog. You could shop our holiday boxes. The holiday season is coming up, as well as shop our beer club subscription options. Remember that you too can drink great local beers like these and join us for weekly tastings like this as part of the Brews Less Traveled Beer Club. You can also follow us on all the social medias at Brewvana. We'll be back next week with one more episode of the wonderful city of Boise, closing out with one more great brewery from the city of Boise. But until then, be kind, stay safe, and support local breweries. Cheers, everyone.
Ooh.